Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to plant two fun perennials, new for me. One is brand new to the market, not even available yet, I don't believe. And then one is a classic. So excited to add some more echinaceas and Blackberry lilies. Have you ever heard of a Blackberry lily before? We're gonna add both of those to the backyard bed here. One's gonna go in one bed, one's gonna go in another. And while we're here, we're gonna go ahead and do a little update garden tour on this space, because overall, for this very first year, having problems with irrigation, I am really excited with how these two beds have come along and developed in just a short amount of time. So it is full sun, so I'm gonna keep my sunglasses on today. Gotta take care of your eyes, people. So we're gonna flip the camera around here and just show you how everything is doing. Brenna is very excited to be out in the garden with me today. She is a smart girl. She has found the one little shade spot that is below the, from the cherry tree rather. So she'll be in and around today. Look at how great this lantana is doing. This is the Luscious Citron. This was new this year, really excited with it. I loved it last year when we trialed it because it really has very soft, buttery yellow blooms on it. Has filled in magnificently well, exactly what I wanted it to do. It just makes a beautiful statement here. Pollinators are all over it. We did have some butterflies. They've moved on to a different section right now. I want to show you, I like to show challenges for you. Years ago, this is where we had, in this spot where the cherry tree is, this is an Okami cherry tree, we had a crepe myrtle. The crepe myrtle, even though Jerry ripped it out, clearly it still had some of its roots, and it has sent up those lovely suckers up out of the ground. I will have to come in here and do my little method of trimming them to the ground and then painting the cuts with an herbicide in order to kill them. That is the thing about crepe myrtles. They can be a boogeroo because they will send up suckers. Now, some of the things, the two plants for me at least that stand out right here are the purple fountain grasses. This is just the traditional purple fountain grass. It's the annual. They clearly are getting enough water and are very, very happy. Just gorgeous plants. I mean, stunning, really, really pretty. In fact, it's kind of starting to go into the mangave a little bit, but that's all right. And then the other ones that really catch your eye are those Suncredible Saturns. Reblooming sunflower. They are an annual, and so they are doing really nicely as well. The Echinacea that I planted maybe a month ago, all of them are doing fantastic. This is the Sombrero Yellow Improved, and look at that. We have got the old seed heads, the old blooms. So you kind of, okay, let's just start back here. Buds, lots of buds, beautiful flowers, older flowers, and then these guys. I will leave the old spent blooms on because the birds, especially the finches, love to come and pick those seeds off. Now, everything else in this bed doing great. You might notice that I have a new addition. This is the unique stone. It's called the Timekeeper Bird Bath. I don't really see how it's a bird bath, honestly. I got it because I wanted it as a sundial. I thought a sundial would be really fun to add to this garden. Of course, these beds are full sun, and you can see I had to turn it. It looks like this way. It looks like it's upside down, but that's the way it is in order to keep the correct time. So you will see it is right about 11 o'clock in the morning. So here is noon, and then there it is. It's showing me about 11. I am not using this as an exact timekeeper. I just thought it would be fun, and if it keeps somewhat of the relative amount of right time, then we're going to go for it. It is 2 pieces, so I can easily spin the top. That's what I was doing. Oh, excuse me about that. Brenda doesn't understand camera. And so I just easily to spin the top so that the correct time was showing. Look at these beautiful grasses. These are perennials. This is Cheyenne Sky. I have them in a group of 3. They are just doing exactly what we wanted them to do. showing some beautiful fall color on there. Their seed heads are starting to develop their little plumes. Oh, such a nice, I just love grasses. I'm sorry, I love grasses in the garden. And then the Hinoki slender tree, cute little evergreen tree. I call this like a Dr. Seuss tree. It is very happy. I was kind of worried if the irrigation wasn't correct, but man, it has not shown any signs of distress. Growing, we got new growth on it, very happy. And then look at these beautiful Echinacea. This is still that sombrero. This is the adobe orange. The plants themselves have just increased in size. And of course, they're just continuing to put on lots of new color. Gorgeous overall. Very happy with how these Echinaceas are doing. So that is why we're going to add some more today. And then here we are. We're going to try not to make you dizzy. More of the citron, doing really well. And coming on down, look at the Vertigo grasses. This thing is a beautiful monster beast, as Vertigo will be if it gets enough water. For size perspective, this is probably just under 5 feet tall and, oh gosh, 4 feet wide. Huge. This one, I believe, gets more water because as we kind of go around, they get a little bit smaller. And that is how my irrigation has been behaving down here near the ginkgo. This end gets more water. Ginkgo is doing very nice, lots of growth. She's very because this is a male cultivar, very happy and doing quite well. And then let's look at some more of the Echinacea. This is, where's my little tag? All right, so this is still another sombrero series, Granada Gold. Look at that. It's not as, it's not orange, it's not yellow. It truly is kind of an in-between color, really pretty. And then look how healthy the plant is. I mean, just lovely. And then the pollinators are very happy on it, doing well all over the place. Love, 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 love it. And then we have 2 more Echinacea that I want to show you, give it updates on. And then look at little Gym. Little Gym Magnolia, she just keeps pumping out the flowers for me, which is so nice. Very happy plant, very happy with where it is. And then we've got those beautiful classic magnolia blooms on it. So every southern garden, I believe, needs to have a magnolia tree. So we have ours and it is doing lovely. Now, here is the Summer Song Firefinch from Proven Winners. And you can see again, lots of good growth on these. I mean, we're having just the continuous, the old blooms, new buds coming up. The Summer Song Firefinch is really fun because it will have different colors on the plant. So you've got shades of reds, pinks, and oranges all there together. And then moving on down, I wanted to give you an update on my Emily's. This is the Julia Child Rose Standard. So if you remember, I'll try to find a picture of when I planted her, how awful she looked. But look at that. She has really flushed out, lots of new, beautiful flowers on it. I can see this out of our window from the house. So nice. But it's called the Julia Rose because Julia Child Rose rather. Of course, Julia Child, famous chef, loved butter and she used tons of butter, and these roses are a beautiful, rich, buttery yellow. Look at this. Finally, the Japanese beetles have kind of stopped. They have gone away, and so they have stopped attacking these plants and just doing great. So the theory on this and the lesson learned on this rose tree is don't give up on plants just because they may look terrible. If you know the plant and you can give it a little TLC, man, it'll flush out and do wonderful. And then the last Echinacea I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on is the color-coded one in a melon. So this is from Proven Winners. When I planted these, there was they had no blooms on them, and so they were kind of small. This one is an older bloom, but you can see how huge it is. So that gives you an idea of my hand. Nice, big, huge leaves on it. And it really did have that kind of that melony look to it, as far as like a cantaloupe color to it. And then finally, let's see how everything else is doing. We have another patch of the Cheyenne Sky Grasses, doing great here as well. The one thing that this is the far end of the flower bed, and I was telling you that the irrigation has more pressure on this end. By the time we get down to here, there is very little water whatsoever. My Monardas clearly are on the struggle bus. I might have to replace them come next spring. And you can see that the lantana on this end is not nearly as big. It could be, one, because of water. It could be also too that this maple tree really does give it a little bit more shade than I thought. Next year, I think I'm going to put the new cordial cherry, I always get it wrong. Yeah, cordial cherry, the surefire begonia. It's that dark foliage and that red bloom, because they can do sun or shade. And I think that would be really pretty here and in other places. So let's go grab the echinacea and the blackberry lilies and let me tell you about them. I've got all my supplies and plants here on my little garden cart. So excited to share these with you. So let's just start with the blackberry lily. This is called Hello Yellow, and it is a gorgeous solid yellow bloom on it. Can you see how pretty that is? Just gorgeous color. So it is a late summer bloomer, which we love. Extend that bloom season right in your garden. And it is called a blackberry lily because once you have the old blooms, then you will get these little pods that develop. When the pods, let's see if I can find which one was it. When the pods begin to, they'll kind of like explode and open up, and they will reveal they look like a blackberry, and they will turn black. Let me see where I can find it. All right, here it is. And put my hand behind it. Hopefully the camera will focus on that. So you can see right here in that little seed pod, those little balls, they'll open up and they'll turn black, so it looks like a blackberry. Really fun plant. Has that kind of that foliage of like a tall bearded iris, but it's not going to get nearly as big. And it will bloom for weeks on end here in the late summer. And I put all the description up there for you. So if you're interested in those blackberry lilies, that is a fantastic. Blackberry lilies are not a new plant. This variety though, I think is relatively new. Just really pretty. Love the yellow in the garden. Then we are going to put the raspberry beret echinacea. This is from Proven Winners. Now, I know that something was chewing on my leaves. They've been a little neglected, but what's fun, this is part of the what they call the double coated series, because it has that beautiful, nice, thick double like head, and then the bigger blooms, petals at the bottom. Once this gets in the ground, it will be much happier and you'll have gorgeous colors to it. And you can see we've already got some new buds happening. So the raspberry beret is going to be a little bit shorter. It is going to be a little bit smaller. Walters says it is the perfect thing for the front of the border. So guess where we're going to put it? We're going to put it right kind of around in front of the sundial. So that's going to be really fun. And then we're going to pan over a little bit. And then we're going to put the blackberry lily, the Hello Yellow, is going to go into this little empty space right here next to the Harry Lauder walking stick and in front of the peonies. So without further delay, I am going to go grab my power planter auger. We're going to get the holes dug, buy a tone, and get these babies in the ground. If you have seen any of our videos before where we plant in the landscape, keep in mind we are North Carolina, Zone 7B. This flower bed receives all day sun up to sundown, so full sun conditions here. As I told you in the garden tour, it is on irrigation. The irrigation has not been quite working correct this year. There's not enough pressure. The line is too big. So we're gonna fix that this fall once we start to like aerate this soil, do the lawn and all that other stuff. So we'll take care of that. But really like where my echinaceas are, they are happy. Like they don't need any more water. So we will have to just kind of play with that irrigation to make sure that the plants that need the water, hydrangeas, hibiscus, the annuals, the rose, those kinds of things, that they get their water. But where my areas where my echinaceas are, and my other, you know, dry loving plants, that they don't get too much water. That's the delicate balance when you have automated irrigation. If I were hand watering this, then it would, in one aspect, it would be a lot easier because I can water the stuff that needs to be watered and not water the other stuff. I digress. I just wanted to tell you that. So planting in North Carolina, red clay soil. We use the Power Planter Auger because, one, it just makes it easier. You don't have to actually dig the hole yourself. But most importantly that I have found is that it aerates the soil so nicely. It fluffs it up. Then we will use our biotone, put our biotone down, and then just put the plant in, bring back the native soil, and that is it. When we created these beds, we top dressed it with a great kind of a compost blend. So I don't need to add land and sea to this or any kind of compost. Echinaceas are very fuss free. They don't require, you know, high maintenance. The biotone is all that they need and they will do great. We'll see how damp my soil is once we plant them, and as long as it is moist, then I'm not going to water them, because again, echinaceas like it dry. If my soil is moist and then I come back and water them again, then I'm creating too wet of an environment. I do not want to do that. So echinaceas are going to go in, and then the blackberries are going to go in, and once all that's done, then we'll come back and chit chat together. All right, my friends, all of the echinaceas and the blackberry lilies have been planted, and I'm telling you, whoo-wee, end of August, and it is hot and toasty out here, which is what these plants love, so that is going to work out great for them. Jenny's melting, but other than that, we're doing good. So here we go. See if I can show them to you. Here we go. There is the raspberry berets right around the bottom of the timekeeper sundial. They are in. When I planted them, the ground was nice and moist. I do not need to give them water right now. That would be more detrimental. And in fact, I went ahead and planted them a little high. You can't really tell right now because you bring the mulch up and you kind of hide that a little bit. But if you look right here, you can see that root ball hopefully sticking out a little bit above the ground. Because the echinaceas like it dry, they don't like to have wet feet, I wanted to plant them a little high so that they can drain really well. So that is the raspberry berets. We will just hang out and watch them grow in the coming weeks, and probably have about a good, the good month of September, and they will continue to grow. So let's go look at the blackberry lilies. Here we have the three Hello Yellow blackberry lilies. Blackberry lilies can handle rich, moist soil, and they will grow bigger when they have more moisture available to them. Now, I kind of put them in a little bit of a triangle right there in front of the peonies and right beside Harry Lauder. Now, you might be going, Jenny, you planted that one really close to that Harry Lauder. Maybe so, but Harry is a really slow grower. If I need to move this lily in a couple of years or next year, then that's fine, I will. But for now, it works out just nicely, and The blooms on this are just so much fun. I love them. So sweet and delicate, and exactly what this garden needs, this space needs this time of year as summer is winding down and just cranking out the heat. They're going to do great right there. Really fill in and make quite a statement piece. So we are excited to have these sweet little perennials added to the garden. As always, we appreciate you. Thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.